Okay, this is a little tutorial on how to take something from Revit into Rhino and then vice versa from Rhino into Revit, and making sure that it all fits properly and in place. So we need to go, I use just a little project here. As you can see, it just has some walls and windows and so on. And what I'm going to do just a little thing in Rhino in here. And because it's special, I can't easily do it in Revit. So I need to change gears and think of using a different software. And I'm thinking of Rhino in this case. So first on the 3D view, we're going to do File, Export, DWG. Okay, a couple things we need to make sure. 3 points, click here. We need units to be set to foot, and then solids to ACIS solids. Say okay. Next, we save it. Say okay. Say close. Take a little bit here of time. We go and jump into Rhino. Don't worry about this. And we need to actually set it to new. We need to work with feet and inches. You could do large objects. I mean, this one will just do a shortcut to set the units to feet and inches. You can always do this option, feet, and then enter the command units. And then just because it's, I prefer it, but you need to, you need to make sure that this is under feet, and feet and inches is okay. Say okay. And import. Okay, we're going to import the DWG file that we created. Let's say open. And these options, we're going to set it to feet and inches here, or feet and feet. Let's see, because we need to do some checking once we do this. It comes in here. We need to make sure that things look good. So it's shaded. Good. It takes the levels. You might need them or not. That's up to you. It brings a number of layers that you can work with, turn on and off nicely, etc., etc. Well, one thing I will do before just admitting or thinking that this is perfect, I will probably go to Revit and put a dimension. Double click on level 1, and what we're going to do is just put a simple dimension by going to DI here, press tab to go to the side, and I have a 29 feet and 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so that's the dimension away from the doors. I'm going to go back here. I can also go to the top view, and I can pan C and create using the drafting options, a simple dimension here from this point to that point. That's 29.02. But if you want to see it in feet and inches, you might want to select it on the properties. Make sure that the style here, it's set to 4 inches architectural. It comes a little big, but there is. It's exactly the same dimensions. So that's comforting. We know that it is working, that the scales in both the Rhino and the Revit are the same. Also, because we did an import, comes with an associated equal 0, reference point. So the origin is located in the same point, both in Revit and in Rhino. So now we can do a monster here. I say monster, any project that you might be interested in, a ceiling or whatever it is. I'm just going to do, just a subtool here and create a little box. Go to the perspective. Might want to create that in a different layer. So I'm gonna do here wireframe, select the sub-D, create a new layer, make it a new or something recognizable, and right click, change object layer. Okay, zoom select. I can do Control Shift and click on some points and do whatever I want to do. You can select some lines by Control Shift, selecting the subdivisions or the sub-D form, and do something like crease. If you go to sub-D tools, here they are, sorry. And here you go. So that becomes planar. I can do some tweaking around. Imagine you want to, I don't know, some kind of a container with a particular curve setting, or it's whatever you're thinking, a ceiling or whatever form that you're envisioning. No, so that we know that's under new. We can give it a different color to make sure that this is actually following that layer. So that's new, and that's it. Let's just imagine that's your thing. You could spend as much time as you need in Rhino, of course, doing that ceiling, that wall, that furniture thing, whatever it is that is a little bit difficult to do in Revit. You will be using Revit, Rhino tools and so on. It's good to have also the references of the existing Revit model. You can always log the rest of the elements so you can see them, but it doesn't disturb you while you design your piece, and then you take it back. So how do we take it back now to Revit? No, so relatively easy. We're going to do an export selected. We're going to select the option DWG as well, AutoCAD, and we're going to give it our particular name. Let's say new form, whatever it is. It's probably better to give it a proper name so it identifies the object that you're dealing with, ceiling, wood, whatever it is. So you say save. It's going to go to the options. I recommend 2007 solids under all of these options. Say okay. Say successfully saved. Go back to Revit. And here what we need to do is one of the two options, either model in place. And let's just imagine this is actually like a new furniture thing. Okay. You will select furniture, give it the name that you want it to be. Whatever name it is, it doesn't have to be the same as the form. And then instead of creating your forms here, you will do insert, import CAD, new form, origin to origin is important. Takes a little while. And there is, that's your thing. You could say finish model. Now that's the element. You can move around or leave it there, however you think. It is exactly where you want it to be. Same relationship with origin and same relationship with the model, the existing model, the site model, both in Rhino and in Revit. Issues that might come up is issue materials. How do we assign materials to this new thing? No? So that's going to be VV, visibility and graphics. We're going to click on object styles, imported objects, and here it is, new. That's the color that if you want to change how it looks in the interface, that would be, but here's the material. Okay, so if you want to change the material of this new thing, you will click there. And you enter the material browser. You can create a new material, assigning that material. You can change the existing material by assigning whatever material you want, etc., etc. You can rename the material. Let's say that for, I don't know, like a textile thing, fabric, dark brown. I'm going to double click there. It's going to come into that material. There it is. And then I can right click and rename and say whatever it is, new form. Again, materials probably makes sense to give it a particular name, no? Fabric. Okay, so that's a sign there. Okay. Okay. We go to our level 1, set a camera. And that's the thing. Okay. There's materiality. That has the fabric material assigned to it. So yeah, just another note, when I inserted the piece, I actually went through the option of model in place, and then I place it there, but you could have done as well a file, new, family, could have chosen your furniture family element, double click. So as you know, this is the family kind of interface outside of the project. And here's where you can also insert your CAD. It will be placed in relation to the 0, in the same coordinates as in the Rhino model. And then you can save it and take it from here, load into family into your project. So either way, it's doing the same thing. Okay, so hopefully that answers the correct way to go from bringing the things that you need from Revit, place them in Rhino as references of the space, and then doing the thing that is difficult to do in Revit, in Rhino, doing in Rhino, working with it. You know, you can do your offset surfaces, your Boolean operations, whatever you need to do. Finish that model, save it nicely, and then bring it into Revit as a CAD model. Being able to change the materials and being able to go back and forth from Rhino and Revit because they share the same 0 coordinate and position. So that makes it a lot easier to start making new forms that you won't be able to do easily in Revit. Okay, that's all.